taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet?
I love people as I meet them one by one. People are just wonderful as individuals. You see the whole...
My great aspiration, my greatest ambition is to be so good. Now, in that way, I'm tiresome, as I suppose, to live with, because I want to be a fantastic human being.
I am the greatest.
We're not disputing that, Cassius, but how does Sonny Liston feel about it?
He can't feel but one way, and let's take everything I say and like it. Because February the 25th, I'm going to take back my job. I'm the champ. He's no champ. He's a tramp.
When you see men fall, don't laugh. Learn. Learn. Because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation.
What up, people? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Peace, praise, glory, and honor to the Most High for allowing us to see another Thursday. I hope all is well with everybody in the building. It's good to be back. Feeling great. Feeling absolutely phenomenal. What a week we have had, starting from the Monday all the way leading up to now, man. If you've missed any of the conversations, make sure you spin the block, man. Shout out to Rob. Shout out to Sydney. Man, just shout out to everybody a part of the panel. The last year plus has been phenomenal on everybody's behalf, man. Everybody is doing an awesome job up here. The chemistry, the feedback, the gems that we share up here, absolutely fire. Anna, I see you in the building. Much love. Everybody that is watching right now, appreciate you. I don't know what I'm going to be doing as far as tomorrow's show, but there will be a stream. I don't know if it's going to be an open mic, but it's definitely going to be a stream all this year. I see my guys in the building. I'm gonna bring him up in a second. Let me do a couple things real quick, because we got some stuff to talk about. I got a video for us to watch. It's not very long, but it's going to probably ruffle a couple of feathers. But that's what we're here for. We're here to agree to disagree. We're here to really get to the bottom of some of these things that people spew out their mouth. Let's disprove them, prove them to be accurate or inaccurate. And all I ask is you repost, like, share this out, let the people know that we're about to get into this discussion. You have any comments, concerns, questions, share them in the comment section. Come on over to the channel. Jason's in the building. I'm about to bring him up. And yeah, we're going to have a good time tonight. Jason, what's going on, sir? Talk to me.
How are you?
I'm good.
Fantastic. I'm doing pretty well myself. Got Ann in the comments. She's gonna be. Seems like she's in need of some good conversation, some spark and some spice. Looking forward to provide that.
Oh yeah. I got something for you. I promised you that. TikTok has been a beautiful asset to
A treasure trove.
these discussions. Yes. If you wanna, before we get into tonight's conversation, do you wanna let the people know about the book, man? Because I definitely feel like they need to hear about it.
Happy to. Absolutely happy to. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that because I was just grabbing the link from my oops. Can't do that. Okay, never mind. I was going to grab the link, but let me see if I can do this. Let me do this one. Nope. Okay, so apparently I can't post links in the chat, so I will just say it out loud. So my book is called The Leading Man, a practical guide for men to lead with strength and vision. And it's all about helping men really pretty much get their heads out of their ass. It's helping men to really understand how they haven't been serving themselves. And the ultimate form of leadership is self-leadership. All leadership is self-leadership. And when you learn how to lead yourself correctly, you become a magnet to those who want to follow your lead. You inspire others to lead themselves in your direction. And that's one of the best forms of influence. If you as a man who is a natural leader, men were born to lead. This is an absolute fact. No, historically, biologically, mentally, even spiritually. If you look at it, men were meant to lead. And when men operate their leadership correctly, when they are leading in the way that they are meant to, and leadership for mentally to lead correctly is for them to be of service. That is how men lead, is by being of service, by being able to negotiate and resolve conflict in order to achieve a common goal. And that's really what the book is about. You can go to relatum.com and check it out. You'll be able to see the quiz that I have there to find out your personality archetype, and that's important. It's something that's in the book. But yeah, go over to relatum.com. You'll find the link to the book. You'll find the link for the personality quiz that you can take. Looking forward to see you there. And yeah, let me know what you think.
That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
Well, look, hey, tonight's sponsor comes from a young lady on TikTok who expressly and vehemently expressed that the less you do for a man, the more that he will do for you. Not a very long clip, but it was long enough for me to get my grubby little hands on it and want to do a reaction. So we're going to go down the rabbit hole, see how accurate or inaccurate she is, and you, the viewers, let me know how you feel. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is there any inconsistencies within her statement? You're all welcome to join in on the discussion. So yeah, it's about 40 seconds. And I'm not going to interrupt. I'm just going to let it play through. So with that being said,
less you do for a man, the more he does from you. And this is something I learned directly from being a dominatrix. These men would come in, they would pay me, and some of them honestly would think they owned me for that hour because they paid me. And so it was like, I want you to do this. I want you to spank me. I want you to do this. And I would just sit in the chair and blow on my nails and wipe it on. And I'm just like, you done?
That would drive them insane.
And I was like, I feel like reading a magazine, actually. You know, I know we have an hour together and you did kind of pay me, but I don't like your tone. So until you fix that and get on your knees and give me a reason to get out of this seat, I'm not getting up. And then all of a sudden, I'm sorry, goddess. What do I do? You want me to get water? What do you want me to do?
Okay, first of all, mind if I give my initial thoughts? I just kind of jumped on in there. All right, so first of all, it's apples and screwdrivers, what she's talking about. She's talking about a specific role where men pay her to be subservient. And then she reminds them as to why they are there. They're there because they don't want the responsibility of leadership. They don't want to be responsible. They don't want to be in charge. They want someone else to do that for them. It's an escape. And so, yes, that is good for that arena. Escapism does not work for real life. You cannot escape in real life. That's called denial. And last time I checked, denial was just a river in Egypt. So here's the thing. If you're going to equate a fantasy, an escapism moment where the rules are set, that this is meant for escape, for men to, and I'm not judging. You do what you want to do. I get that some men, they feel really burdened by the responsibility of leadership. And so they need to release that. They need to release control for a little while and be felt like they are at someone's beck and call. Doesn't mean that that's what they want to be for their life. It's their escape. So if you try to take that escapism and apply it to real life, what you are doing now is you are demeaning men. What you are trying to say is the escapism is the escape is the reality. Last time I checked, fantasies aren't real. You can dress up as Puff the Magic Dragon. That doesn't mean dragons are real. It just means that you dressed up as one. You need to be able to distinguish reality from fantasy. And that's one of the core prerequisites of being a person. In fact, that's a core competency for being a well-adjusted human being. The ability to distinguish between fantasy and reality. And knowing the difference and being able to respect that difference. That woman, she doesn't know the meaning of the word respect because she decided that she was going to take her profession where she provides a fantasy for a business and then apply it to real life. You don't do that. That doesn't work. I'm going to yield the mic.
So I have my kinks and my fantasies and things like they're not extreme, right? I don't do feet, toes, and all that. You're not going to sit on my face for 5-10 minutes and suffocate me, and I'm going to pay you $200-$300. My shit is simple. It ain't nothing like. I don't know why a person would want to be like on the ground, hands and knees, barking like a dog, wanting someone to pretty much stand over them with a chain and beat the shit out of them and tell them where to crap and hold one leg up and pee over here in the corner. And this, I don't understand stuff like that. That is absolutely weird to me. But like you said, to each his own. In her case, she's professionally getting paid to do this. So assuming what she's referring to is because of the job that she does, she sees a lot of weird ass guys who are just into being submissive and just relinquishing authority to someone else, and it makes them appreciate you more. If that's what she's saying, I disagree. That is some demonic, worldly mixture of what the hell. I just don't get it. I can't get behind it. There's not a single normal guy in the world, whether or not he has little interest, if that's what you want to call them, that is doing things or investing into things like that. Something that I wanted to point out that I think was more or less my concern, or what I wanted to address, was this idea that the less that you actually do for women in general will get them, or get the guy to appreciate them more when they actually do something for you. So these are two different worlds that we're addressing. She's on the freaky deaky side of it. I'm really overall just thinking about how we have this push and pull, yin and yang, hot and cold bread crumb thing. The more you ignore her, the more she's going to be into you. The more you don't give into him, the more he's going to respect you and appreciate you. That's more or less where I'm going with this one. But
okay, so I want to address that as well. I just needed to get that off the chest, because her view is based on a fantasy that she gets paid for, and I think that's where I was kind of going with that. But I stopped. I yielded the mic because I kind of lost my train of thought, and I didn't want to try and reestablish it. But you bring it back full circle really helped. So as far as the idea of the less you do for a man, the more he does for you, that is categorically untrue. Because if a man has, here's the thing, men are going to focus on what they focus on. Men focus on moving forward. They focus on the goal. I don't care what kind of man you are. If you are well adjusted, you're focusing on the goal primarily. And regardless of whether a woman does more or less for you, you can be focused on that goal. There really isn't much a woman needs to do for you. She needs to basically create a space of peace that a man can go to at the end of their day, or whenever they are ready to go home, and just kind of decompress. And then be there for them, be supportive. There isn't a lot that a woman has to do. I mean, a man isn't expecting a woman to wait on him hand and foot. And any man that does, one, the man is probably abusive or is taking advantage of the situation, and the female is probably a codependent person in a relationship. In either case, it doesn't work. When you have two people that co-create their reality, you're going to know what the plan is moving forward, what the agreement is. It has nothing to do with who does what or how much you do for what person. That's called keeping score. Keeping score is toxic behavior. It doesn't work in a healthy relationship. You don't say, well, I did this, so I expect this. Or if you don't do this, I'm not going to do that. And if I do less, maybe you'll do more for me. No, you do less. If you start pulling away from the man, what reason does the man have to want to give you more? If he's well adjusted and he knows what his purpose is, what reason does he have to keep investing in the relationship? That's called simping. A man who decides that he's going to chase a woman for her affection in order for himself to feel validated, it's called simping. It is disgusting behavior that is usually taken on by men who either act like white knights or like nice guys. And for those who don't know what those terms are, go to relatum.com, get the book and read it. You'll find out. But when you exhibit those kinds of behaviors, you are not going to be in your power. You're going to be chasing something in order for validation outside of yourself. And it will never fill the void. You have to have that internal validation. Well, that's called... Oh, man. You kind of... Oh, man. There are so many places I can go with that. Yes. Well, I consider that to be codependent. Anyone who acts simpish, anyone who craves the validation of another person is codependent. I'd consider that either the eternal daughter or the seductress. Those are the female wounded types, to be outlined in my upcoming book, the Nurturing Woman. But getting back to the point, just because you think that you deserve something doesn't mean that you get it. Entitlement will not provide you the expectation that you're looking for, and believing that the less you do for a man, the more he's going to give to you is an outright lie. If a man decides if a man sees a woman pulling away, and there's no reason for him to work harder in the relationship, he's going to leave. He'll stop trying, and then you're both pooched. I yield the mic.
Oh yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Let me say this. We're all grown. If you like or you're interested in someone, you make it clear. I'm not talking about Fred Flintstone taking it back to the Neanderthal days and you hit somebody over the head with a rock and you drag them to the cave. You let your intentions be very clear and upfront. The effort has to be reciprocated. If it's not reciprocated, you take your bow and you go about your business until you are in the presence of someone who can truly and fully reciprocate the same efforts that you are giving to you. People who do this type of shit are manipulating. I don't know why. Maybe you just have other intentions that are not very positive. And so you mask what you want out of a person by giving here, taking, giving, then taking. But like Jason said, and I'll be 100. You don't give me nothing. You ain't got to say too much to me. After a while, I'm just going to go ahead and step. And it's simple as that. Why would anybody want to be around somebody who isn't really giving? You know what I'm saying? At least showing interest that you want to be here, that you like the person for whatever capacity you see them for. Make it clear, make it known. Otherwise, what's the point? Why are you in my face? Go the fuck on somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It just go ahead.
So one thing I want to add is it goes the same way for doing more. And these are really vague terms. When I hear the less you do for a man, less than what? And that's an important distinction, because just saying if you do less compared to what, the standard, what you agreed upon, what you both have decided was appropriate for that relationship, what you deem is appropriate. If you're doing less than what you deem is appropriate, or if you're doing less than what you've agreed in the relationship, you are doing yourself as much of a disservice as you are your partner, because you are betraying the relationship. The same thing is if you do more. There was an agreement. There's a standard. There is a basis of value of what someone is going to do, what was agreed upon, or what was established. Let's say, if you do more than that, then you are overdoing it. You're overloading. You're overwhelming. And so then again, that also creates a mismanagement of the relationship. And I say this from experience because I've been in a lot of relationships, and many of them ended because my partner decided that she was going to manipulate the relationship, either by taking away or giving too much. And in both cases, I'm like, I can't deal with this. The giving too little, which means that she's giving her efforts elsewhere, I have no tolerance for. I just bounce. I'm like, nope, bye, and I'm done. It's the giving too much that is it's a little bit harder to gauge, because if they are giving too much, I mean, you can talk about that and say, well, this is all that I need. But if they are so insecure in themselves, they feel like if they don't give more, then they don't feel like they are worth a relationship, or that they're going to be loved, or that you're going to appreciate them. That also is born out of fear. And anyone who knows, anybody who's been in a relationship where you are drowning in the person, in the person's affection, and the person's constant attention, it's like, nah, get away from me. Just go. Do anything else. Seriously, anything else. I'm not a puppy. I'm not your child. I'm your partner. And I deserve to be treated as such. And the whole overwhelming or restricting, both of those are signs of abusive relationships. And they're abusive because they're not honoring what the relationship calls for. I yield the mic.
I think of someone who overly gives as someone who has always done it. And I don't know if it's that they've always done it out of, it was just how they were brought up. But even I can admit, once upon a time in my life, I would exceedingly attempt to be extra tentative to people that I shouldn't have. And it goes back to this phrase that I've heard a number of times: the adorer and the adoree scenario, where one person is more interested in the other person. And like, I think that is a part of the problem. I don't know if that's ever been your situation or not, but I know I've been in that space before where I was less interested in the person, and I've been the person that was the less interested. I've been on both sides of it. And I don't know if that's one of the main components here, but it's something that's worth acknowledging, at least for the moment here. That less part, I'm with you on that. I'm still trying to figure out what do you really mean by less. The bare minimum, I mean, or the baseline for just being decent human being is already seemingly like that's a problem. Been friendly, smiling, saying hello. Like it's to the point where some people don't even say hi to you. You'll say hi to them and they'll just keep on walking. But when you say less, what are you really getting at? Because it just sounds dumb to me. You are interested in the person. Let me see if I understand this one. You're into the person, but you don't want to let them know that you're into them, or you want them to know that you're into them, but you don't want them to get the impression that you're so into them that somehow you assume that they're going to take that and abuse it. So by you not giving them what you should be giving them, you kind of just sprinkle in a hug here, a hug there, a smile here, a smile there, a back rub here, a back rub there, and you I'm not understanding it. So you give them less, they give you the more. The less you give them, the more. That's so you're. I'm supposed to just be like, oh shit, whoa, well, let me go ahead and go into my bank account and pull out $5,000 and just take you to the most expensive restaurants and carriage rides around the city and get you in the helicopter because you gave me less. Because you think that I'm just less. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And that's essentially what's being said, is that because men really what she's not saying, but what the subtext is saying is that men are so emotionally insecure that if you pull away, they're gonna be running after you like a puppy dog. And because of that, women have control in the relationship. Well, yeah, I can see for some men, for the ones that really have no business being in a relationship in the first place, sure, that's a thing. The men that deserve a relationship, the ones that have their stuff together, won't be the ones that dote you because you've given them less, hoping that you'll give them more. That's not how it works. Men are not out there looking to pay for women's affection, which is essentially what this woman is saying. And what does that say about women? If that is the mentality, if it's completely transactional, what does that say about women? What does it say about relationships in general? What does that say about trust? Because this is essentially where the argument goes. Women pull back, which means that they hold the transactional authority. So men have to give more for a transaction in order to get more. This for that. It's called quid pro quo. And even in business, quid pro quo is considered sleazy, manipulative, and self-serving. So we're going to apply that to relationships now? If it doesn't belong in business, it definitely doesn't belong in relationships. Relationships are like business, but with more at stake. Because now you've got vulnerability and trust on the line in every interaction that you have. Which is why it is imperative that people act above board in their relationships, because the idea of vulnerability is very fragile. It's the best way that I've heard it described is giving someone a knife so that they have the capacity to cut you, but they choose not to, because they know it's going to damage not only you, but also them. So until we get back to that idea of trust and vulnerability are the things that are most sanctified, we're screwed. I yield the mic.
I would like to know what in your mind makes you think that the solution to getting either the husband or that significant other that you desire, what gives you the impression that this is the formula to all of your problems? I would love to know what the root cause is, but I got a general idea. I think you do. I think a lot of us here are pretty much there with that. But I want to know, like, how do you get the? No, never mind. I know how, and that's one of the problems. The simps, the simps, and women can be simps. I don't know if that's the phrase I would use for it though. They might have a different term for it. Um, in general, I don't even. I think it just goes on both ends. Women will, women will do it. Men will do it. It really just depends on the type of guy or female that you're dealing with. Most of it stems from low self-esteem, being out of pocket, not in purpose, not going to the gym, not having goals set for yourself, not having a spiritual relationship with the creator, no direction whatsoever. When you don't have no direction, you're susceptible to fall for any and everything that comes your direction. You're pretty much drifting wood on the ocean, kind of just being tossed from one place to the next. You don't really have nothing stable to latch on to.
So the best equivalent to a simp for a woman is a pick me.
There it is. There it is.
Sensational.
Which is crazy though, because in my honest opinion, I don't even think that word fits them for real. Um, so let me hear me out. Now, if you're saying that she's a pick me because she's overly exacerbating her desire to have someone, and she's pretty much just doing the most insincerely, and there's I can understand what you're saying, but for the most part, every time I hear that word, it's usually when I hear a woman speaking based, and she's really just being honest. Like she's telling you, as a woman, I don't agree with the stupid shit that you just said 15 seconds ago on this TikTok or this short. I don't agree with starving my man to death. If he wants me to cook, it's okay for us to cook. It's okay for us to want to dress up and feel sexy, and no, we're not supposed to show our body all over social media. That to me is not the negative connotation of a pick me. I think they use that word to kind of make them feel bad for being on our side for real, for real. Like if you agree with us, then you're against them. That's usually what I get from that word. But I can see where you're going with it as far as like the whole pick me thing. But what type of, so let me ask you this then. What type of woman that is categorized to be that definition for you? Not the one that I'm referring to where they're getting shamed for it. I'm talking about the ones where they're literally going overboard with it.
Right. So this would be the kind of woman who excessively seeks male validation, often at the expense of other women by downplaying her own needs or aligning herself with what she thinks in order to align herself with what the man wants. That's a pick me.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, there's a couple of them that you watch on YouTube every single day, folks. Just Pearly Things is one of them. She's one of the biggest grifters in the woman's spirit that I've ever seen in my life. She is exactly what you described, down to a T.
I don't think so.
And
I've seen some of her stuff. Sorry to cut you off, but I don't agree. And the reason why I don't agree is because I've watched some of her stuff. What she does is she calls out bad behavior from women. And she talks about how it is ruining dating culture. A pick-me is going to be more about the kind of person who puts herself out there in order to gain male's attention for her to be seen as a mate. But what Just Pearly Things does, and there's some others who really just call out bad behavior that women use that really hurt relationships.
I can see that. I guess we have differing views on her, and it's more or less my experiences with her particular journey is separate from yours. So there's things that you've seen, which I like. What she says, I'm not against what she's saying because a lot of it is true. But then I've seen her in contradicting situations, and I'm like, wasn't this just you a few months ago? Interesting.
Well, the same thing could be said for Fit and Fresh or Fresh and Fit, whatever the hell their name is.
Oh,
they're one of the biggest contradictions and what's the term? Hypocrites around. I mean, you've got the guy who says that men are supposed to be the alphas, and yet he rents a yacht for beautiful women to come on board, and all they do is drink. They don't actually talk to any men, and he's there stuck with his dick in his hand. And it's like, really? You're going to behave like this? You're going to talk about the kind of stuff that you do, but when you're actually in a situation like this is how you behave? Come on, man. This is not how men act. First of all, they're not just going to allow women to just come on board, drink for free, while the dudes have to pay, and then just allow them to do what they're going to do. A real man, a masculine man, would not do that. So, I got a problem with people like him as well. I mean, you want to talk about hypocrites? They're all over the damn place.
Oh, I've done a number of reactions to Fresh and Fit, especially on this one in particular. These guys paid them. It was like $1,200 to $1,300 to be a part of a party that they were hosting on a yacht. By the way, they rented the yacht. It wasn't theirs. They rented the yacht. They charged them, the guys, to come to the yacht. The women that they had on the yacht were OnlyFans models, by the way. The same women that they talk shit about.
Yep.
Disrespect, clown. Them same ones had them on the yacht. What were they doing? They wasn't doing nothing with them dudes. They were just there for eye candy, and it was just like, yeah. I've learned a lot about them over the last 2 years alone, bro. I don't even watch them no more. It's that bad, because you can say they do help in some areas, but as far as like, you can't be I have a thing with someone who is you're like this. You're not like I need this, but if you're like I can't because I don't know like where you really stand. The man they've been kicked off of YouTube. They've been kicked off of all their platforms except for Rumble because Myron he says the most racist shit out of his mouth. He's very sexist. He don't care. He doesn't care, and like so I'm not mad at that at all. Like you said, there's a lot of those guys out there. A lot of them. They're worse than way worse.
There's only one podcaster that I really respect, and one that I used to respect. I can't respect him anymore because he's dead. The one that I really like is the Whatever podcast. That one is really good. They have a good message. They're very consistent. Their guests and their messages are very in line all the time. And the other one is Kevin Samuels. Rest in peace. And I'll tell you why I like both of them. So I've already talked about the Whatever podcast. Very consistent. They have great personalities on both sides of the issues. They've had a lot of really great panelists and really great debates on that channel where both sides have been able to have their sort of boxing match. And it's been like boxing with an amputee, where the people who have sense and sensibilities just run roughshod all over these people who have absolutely no idea what the hell they're talking about. Now, the reason why I liked Kevin Samuels when he was still alive is because of how he started. Most people don't realize that he was a advertising agency, and he was also responsible for fashion. He was a fashion consultant, and so he started off his podcast really gearing towards men about how they need to dress, how they need to act, and how they need to present themselves in order to be taken seriously, be taken as seriously as men. And then he began to see how women were acting in relationships, and that's when he made the transition. And then he blew the hell up. Like he just went talking about that kind of stuff, and it was beautiful because he brought a lot of issues with common sense. Now, I don't agree with all of his personal values, but I will say that everything that he talks about came with common sense. And the common sense things I absolutely loved. I thought that his common sense approach was founded on just really real issues and real values. So those are the two that I will often go back to in order to gain little snippets or watch some things of, but not all the time. I've gone through most of the Kevin Samuels stuff anyway, so not much left to go through there. But for the Whatever podcast, it's just too much, and I'm way too busy now, so I really can't. But yeah, this is all to say, getting back to the point that we've been making the entire time. Relationships are not based on the flow of attention. You cannot stem the flow of attention and expect that someone's going to come find out what's wrong. Why is the emotional support not there anymore? What can I do? Men don't do that. At the same time, the overflow of emotion is going to cause them to want to either get out of the way or see that something must be wrong. To believe that you can control how people behave in a relationship is manipulation, especially if it is for your own personal gains. And there's a special place in hell for people who believe that. And I yield the mic on that point.
Fuck you.
That's basically what he's. That's basically what he's saying. That's that shit is crazy.
Keeping it 100 as always, Mel. Keeping it 100.
I ain't mad at you. Y'all better stop with that. Please stop with that. This, I don't know. Just listening to her talk and how she looked and how she was dressed. No, there's no way. There's no way you're about to have me sitting around here barking like a dog and begging you to spend all my money and you spit in my face and you take a crap on my chest and all this other like that. These people, man, they be on some other shit, man. Nah. And then one thing I do want to say real quick. Never be in a situation where one person likes the other person more than the other person. To me, it won't work. Now, I've heard that there has to be, you can tell me if you how you feel on this or not. I've heard that there has to be one person who likes the other person more than the other person in order for it to work. I absolutely hate that idea. Uh, I don't understand the logic in it because one person is always going to be on the losing end of that battle. Someone help me out with that one.
Here's where that logic breaks down. When you say that someone has to be liking another person more than the other, more than what does that look like? Again, there's nothing that actually defines that. It is so ambiguous. Someone has like the other person more. What does that look like? How do you define that? Is one person just constantly like craving the attention of the other person? That's creepy. And if it's coming from a woman, that's just desperate. So I mean, either desperate or you're creepy, one or the other, and it can't work that way. Both people have to be willing to see that there is something there worth nurturing. There's something between them that is worth investigating, worth seeing what is there. Is there a future there? What does it look like? Do your values align enough where you can move forward together? They don't have to be the same. They just have to find out if it's enough. Do they align enough? And can they keep that alignment long term? Or are there things that are going to get in the way? And can those things be resolved? These are the questions that people need to be having. Real life questions that have to deal with real life. If you base it just on emotions, you're stupid. Because emotions only get you so far.
How dare you?
Oh, I dare. I'll say it again. Emotion. If you rely on emotions, you are stupid. You are just flat out brainless. Because you are being reactionary. And reactionary people do not succeed in life. And you cannot be a reactionary person expecting that your partner is going to be the proactive one. You both have to create a plan. You both have to know what your responsibilities are in that relationship. And then you have to honor those responsibilities. Now, if you have responsibilities and you say, oh, if I do less, he's going to do more. Now you're talking about violation of the relationship. And you have now just demeaned yourself as well as your partner. Great job. You have alienated yourself and your partner, and you have destroyed the sanctity of that relationship because you are too stupid to realize that you are self-serving and that your behavior is what caused the destruction of your relationship. Congratulations.
Sensational.
Absolutely asinine. Like, what's the point of even dating the person? Why bother? Tell them you're just there for the food and drink. I mean, that's really what it is. I'd be pissed off if we got intimate, and you don't do nothing but lay there. I'm doing all the work. You just lay there. We stuck in that one position that the entire time. You can't even throw it back on it. Like you can't do nothing. Like come on. Like we I thought this was a team thing. Like that's why I had such an issue with the whole Valentine's Day shit. You're not about to sit up here and tell me that this shit is just for women. No. And that's that. Like that really pissed me off. It did. No, you.
That was a great episode, though.
You fuck with me.
That was a great episode.
You're gonna show me you fuck with me just as much as I fuck with you. Otherwise, no, we not about to do this cheater, totter, whatever. No. You buy me a bag of chips, I'll buy you a bag of chips. You fix me a home cooked meal, I mow the lawn. Maybe I'll take you out to eat. But if you throw a hot pocket in that motherfucking microwave when I get home, what the you you really think I'm gonna want to get up and take the trash out and just man get the hell out of here? Miss me with all that. This common sense though, but I think people know that. You just don't care. And
It's
then
funny.
The people that you're getting in.
Please go finish.
Go ahead.
Finish. I'll
No,
speak
I was just going to.
Okay.
I was just going to say the people that allow you to get away with that shit, they're the problem. That's why you think it's cool. That's all I was going to say.
The funniest thing is that when men and women both lead correctly, and by lead, I mean be of service to each other, that is the highest form of love that you can share. When a woman says, I will be the foundation of our home, I will be the one that really leads from the nurturing standpoint. I will make sure that our children are well developed. I will make sure that the home is a place of safety, of rest, and I will ensure that anyone who comes into our home is someone who is going to also behave in the right way. A man will turn around and say, I will give you the world. I will build anything for you, and I will ensure that you have everything that you want because you have done that. And if anyone thinks that looking at relationships that way is anything demeaning, you got problems. Because it's not about the people involved. It's what they know is at stake if they don't do that. It's so much more than just the people that are in that relationship that are on the line. It is the future that relationship provides, or that the relationship creates. And it is so important to ensure that you do it correctly, because the ones that come after you are going to be the ones who take what you have influenced them with and take that into the world. And we've seen what has happened so far because of that. So, yeah, parents, you got to do better. I yield the mic.
A whole lot. The parents and a lot of the influencers that we see, a lot of these creators and these hosts that have these discussions, and they're not really balanced. I think that's one of my major issues with conversations like this. They're never really like on even playing field. So you'll always get one perspective over the other, and you can't really get very far with that. You do realize there are two people involved here, so you need both sides of this so that you can blend this as well as possible. It's almost like you're trying to push this out so that this portion supersedes all else, and we can't do that. We can't. So yeah, my verdict on her comment, I need to find me I'm gonna find it, but nah, I'm not really on board with what she said. I'm not on board with one person liking the other person more, and I don't agree with none of that. It has to be even. It has to be equal. Anything else is going to be problematic, and it's going to be very uncomfortable. Maybe not for you so much, but eventually it's going to become a problem for you too, because if they're pouring more into you and you're not giving nothing back, what do you think is going to happen? You have people that just try to stick it out and try to convince you to give, but what does that look like? Oh, I'm exhausting all of my resources. I'm pouring and pouring and pouring, and you're not giving me nothing. You ain't. What do you think is going to happen for the very few who stay there with you? How do you see that going for your future? Some people snap because they want to be there, but they should probably have already left, but they won't. But then, I digress.
Another good one in the books.
Yeah, definitely. Shout outs to you. Shout outs to Anna, everybody that pulled up for tonight's show. I hope you got something out of it. We try to keep it as honest as possible up here. Tomorrow you will see me twice. I will be on the helmets. I'm gonna be in the lab all day, all weekend, really. The verdict is still out on whether or not I'm doing the virtual tomorrow, but I will be streaming tomorrow, Lord willing. Do me a solid. If you have any topics, anything that you want us to discuss up here, email me, shoot me a message on IG, Twitter, wherever you are. I respond. Help out by reposting, resharing the videos and the streams out so it gets more traction. The more eyes, the more the algorithm picks it up. You know how this routine is. Outside of that, great show. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to relax a little bit. I'm gonna get back into it tomorrow. Do me a solid on your way out.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
Your digs. Y'all be easy. See y'all on the flip.